Hello everyone and welcome to ABG's Investor Days. My name is Carl Bokvist and I'm an industrial analyst here at ABG. With us today now we have Permascand and CEO Peter Lundström, who will be moderating the presentation. And afterwards there will be also a short Q&A session from my side. With us we also have CFO Linda Ekman tuning in. So without further ado, Peter and Linda, thank you for joining us and welcome.
Thank you very much and welcome to Permascand. The one who will present will be me, Peter Lundström, I'm the CEO. But as said, Linda Ekman is in the background, so if there are any questions that I cannot answer, she will be for sure be able to do that. I take the opportunity today to introduce Permascand. We talk a lot about our core technology platform. I will go through that a little bit. Looking into where are we heading, what do we want to achieve, what have we done so far, and what are our financial developments. We just closed the first quarter. We had that 2 weeks ago, the presentation, but let's summarize it up. Looking into the investment highlights, what do we want to do going forward, what can we expect, and so on and so forth. And then we're ending with Q&A held by Carl. So I think we can change page. And I'll start with the vision and mission, because I think that is describing Permascand quite well. And there are more wordings that are more important than others. But for us, it is to become the leading independent provider, global supplier of electrochemical solutions, and we would like to do it for clean tech applications, and we would like to support and be part of the green technologies and the green transmission that is going on and that we're heading towards. If you look into our mission, I mean, what are we doing every day to fulfill our vision? And that is to be innovative every day, to be competitive, to make sure that we can produce, that we can present the best technical availability, and how are we supposed to produce it, and how are we supposed to produce this in a large scale. And in particular, when we're looking into the new markets, the electrification and renewable sides, I mean, that is a large scale market from where we are coming from. We are serving 3 markets today. Industrial solutions, that's where it all started 50 years ago, 1971. It is basically chlorate industry, and it is chloralkali industry. So we are serving the chemical industry and the paper industry. Water treatment, for us it is primarily the ballast water treatment. The legislation came into force in 2017, and it's new installations going on for another 3-4 years to 25-26, when all the vessels that are crossing the oceans are supposed to have finalized an installation to be able to continue with transportation over the oceans. And then we have the newcomer, or it's not really something new, but it seems to be the one that takes in and will fulfill the green transition that everyone is looking for, and to also lower the emissions that is going on in the industry. And for us, electrification and renewables, it's actually 3 parts. It's hydrogen, which I know most of people know. It's metal purification. We call it electrowinning. That's how to create metals and to purify metals so we can produce cables and the batteries and so on and so forth. And it's power transmission. We need to be able to transport the electricity within the countries, across the countries, and that is also creating corrosion in this part of the value chain, and that is what we are focusing on. I can take the next page. We are established in Ljungaverk in the middle part of Sweden. It's basically when you put a needle on Sweden, that's where you end up in Ljungaverk. So it's very close to us. That is where we are having the main part of our operation. That's where we do the research and development. That's where we have the construction, the design, and most of the manufacturing of our components is there. We have a set of partners across the globe, basically in all parts of the world where we have customers or where we think that we will be able to grow our business. And they're doing the assembly work, they're doing documentation, test and inspection, And they are producing for Permascand. We set up the standards for it, and they are delivering directly to the customers more locally than we can do from Ljungaverk. We have sales office or product offices in Stockholm, Gothenburg, and Vancouver in Canada. It's all started in 1971, so we have been part of the AkzoNobel group up to 2012 when it was a management buyout, and we went into the stock exchange market last year as a celebration of our 50 years anniversary. Let's move on to next. Just to take it in the simple form, I don't know many are listening that knows anything about the electrochemistry, but if you take it from the starting point of it, it's quite simple, and when you get into it, it gets more complicated along the line. But from the simple form, it is something called an anode, a cathode, it's a plus and a minus. You add electricity, you put this down into some type of liquid depending on what you would like to do, and normally you are making a purification or you're making, as we do for ballast water treatment and disinfection, and we're using electricity to create a reaction, and this is used in many different industries and a quite global large market for it, and we are focusing on the markets that we believe that we can be successful and that we can kind of be the heart in the customers' processes, utilizing the core technology and the experience we have from 50 years of service. Can take the next one. We do it, and this is really no secret. Everyone in the electrochemistry area, they are having basically the same building blocks, but we're focusing on the coatings, the catalytic coatings. That's the secret sauce in Permascand. That's where we have the patents, most of the patents. That's where we have the trademarks, and that's where we have the know-how. We build electrodes and we build complete electrochemical cells. And our business model is to do new installations, but it's really the aftermarket and service business that we're focusing on and that we would like to be part of with our customers for a long time, from the starting point to the end. The oldest refurbishment and aftermarket service customers we have from beginning of the 80s. The oldest electrode material I have seen is from 1982, and they've been part for the service now for 4 times since then, and that's how we are operating, and that's what we want to be, a long lifetime partner to our customers. Let's bring up the next one. What this industry is aiming for, it is at the lower part of this circle. It is to create components and products and a reaction for disinfection or for purification with as low energy consumption as possible. At the same time, it is to have a long lifetime on your electrodes and your electrochemical systems. And it's around to have a very cost-efficient total ship of owner cost for our customers with a very high reliability. And we normally use the terminology that we produce the heart in customer systems and in customer processes. It's not supposed to be us that are failing or not working in the process. It is exactly the same as the heart in the body. I mean, it's just supposed to pump, because then we know that everyone will continue to deliver, and we know that everyone will continue to move on and keep that going. And we do it through kind of a set of different processes and functions. It is the research, it is about the optimization of the coatings, it is about the product applications, it is about the methods to produce both large scale, small scales, and be able to repeat that when it's time for an aftermarket and service. And it starts with the coatings. How do you apply it? How do you make the recipes? How do you optimize it? What do you do before? What do you do after? And how are you, in the end, assemble this in a very reliable way with long guarantee, low energy consumption, and long lifetime that keeps downtime as short as possible for the customers. We can take the next one. It is a quite long process to get there. I mean, we have a sales and development process going basically hand in hand. There are many different steps to get to this commercialization and to get to this long lifetime optimized electrochemical cell that will be put into a factory or an OEM system for the customer's processes. It can take as short as basically 1 year. It can take as long as 8 years. In average, within the industry, it's between 5 and 6. It seems to be going a little bit faster when we're looking into electrification and renewables, and we're talking more from the first contact you have with a new customer that you don't really know, 2 to 3, maybe up to 5 years. It seems to be a shorter timeline from the starting point to commercialization in electrification and renewables than it has been in the past from the other sectors and industries. But it's a quite sophisticated, it's a quite hand-in-hand process to get to the end point to deliver quality products and quality components for the customers. Can take the next. Permascand, we have a clear strategy on what we want to achieve into these different sectors. And for us, the markets are as well as important as the other one. We're not really prioritizing one or the other. We're using our experience from Industrial Solutions. And if we're looking primarily where we are in Industrial Solutions now, it is to strengthen our aftermarket and service business. Focus is on North America. Focus is to be more presence, to set up a Permascand establishment more permanent, and also to be able to then be closer to the customers to increase their performance and to give them a very high customer support. We have started to employ new resources in the area, and we are looking into our possibilities to take the next steps into this market. If I go to the left, which is the water treatment, I mean, it is commercialized. We have invested heavily into this business, and we are one of the major players in delivering components and electrochemical cells to the OEM and to the system integrator who are installing them on the vessels across the world. We are halfway through the installation curve. It's 48,000 ships. That is the market, and we are around 25,000 at the moment, and it's supposed to be finalized somewhere between 25 and 26. So the only focus we have is to make sure we can deliver, have the capacity, and install as many systems as possible, because when it's finalized, it's going to be, as Industrial Solutions, is primarily driven by the aftermarket and service, and that is where we're heading with that. We are investing the money that we are making and the cash flow we're making in Industrial Solutions and in water treatment into this new area of electrification and renewables. It is the hydrogen, it is the power transmission, and it is the metal purification that is our focus. And of course, hydrogen looks like to be the largest market potential for electrochemical solutions that we're focusing on. And it's very simple: winning new customers across the segments and growing aftermarket and service, and protect our market and our business through our innovation and through our technical solutions and through our abilities to manufacture large-scale components and large-scale electrochemical cells over and over and over. Let's take the next one. We have so far, we invested from 2018 into automation and robotization, because that is how we are getting the scalable manufacturing, the flexibility, and also the profitability in the company. We're looking into, we started already last year, into the next phase of our growth journey. We believe it will start around 2025, good matching from when water treatment should be finalized. And it starts with the technology and the innovation center for hydrogen. And we will spend a lot of money, invest into facilities, into technology research development projects together with customers, together with institutions, universities, and also within our internal resources to do it. And we signed a letter of intent a couple of weeks ago with a company called RES. They are aiming to build a hydrogen power plant only 25 minutes from where we are located in Ljungaverken. The letter of intent is about Permascand to be able to set up a commercial test lab where we can run on the hydrogen specification, and we can do our testing with our different technologies and with our different applications, and run and test customers' performance with real data. That is what we're looking for, and that is what we are aiming, because we think that will be very important going on a long time into the future. Let's take the next one. This is the market that we're aiming through, and this is also was part of the IPO package. This is why we are focusing on electrification and renewables, invest into this market, because it's going to be a future market for electrochemical components, electrochemical solutions, and it is large scale. If we start with industrial solutions, there normally we are producing hundreds of components. When we're looking into the water treatment sector, we have been producing thousands of components, and then we're looking into electrification and renewables. We're talking about 10,000s to 100,000s of components. So this is where we're aiming, because we are a manufacturing company. I mean, that is what we want to do. And through to be able to deliver good components, we do the R&D, the design, the construction, because then we can give a long lifetime guarantee, and we can also control better the electricity consumption and the reliability for the customers, and give them a good economy of scale. And when it's time for refurbishment of the market, we can also control that and ensure that their processes and systems is continuous working, and that they can focus on producing their type of products. Let's take the next one. This was what we presented 2 weeks ago. It is from the last quarter. We started off the strongest quarter in company history, and we had the highest revenue in one single quarter in the first quarter. So we have a really strong start coming out from the backlog execution, coming out from that water treatment, the ballast water treatment, kicked off a little bit earlier, maybe a little bit stronger than we anticipated. We're coming from 2 years of pandemic closed down. It has only been delays, and now it's started to roll a little bit faster in quarter one, and we could also prove that we are able to deliver faster than what was actually the plan from the beginning. We had a strong order backlog. We had good order intake, primarily from industrial solutions. We were awarded a new greenfield plant that came from two different orders, and to total value of 100 million SEK. We have done a lot of internal upgrades, process development, and we have the automation and robotization now working in a commercial stage, and we are delivering good margins, good gross margin, development quarter over quarter, and we also have a good drop through down to the last EBIT line through the efficiency, and through that it's scalable, and that we are able to utilize our resources in a very flexible way. And when we're adding revenue, it doesn't mean that the cost is moving in the same direction. Let's see, next one. We have the financial targets and the dividend policy. We haven't changed this since we went to a public company. I mean, we are a growth company. We're expecting midterm growth of 25% per year. The same with the profitability. We have proven that we have a scalable manufacturing place, and that we can deliver revenue and high profitability. The capital structure is that we should have a very solid balance sheet. We are almost having no debt at the moment, so we have a quite good cash flow. We have good cash situation, and that we should keep going forward. We should not exceed 2 times the EBITDA level. maybe for specific reasons temporarily, but over long term, we should continue to have quite low debt and generate cash that we reinvest into our operation. And the dividend policy is supporting that we're using the commercialized markets like industrial solutions and water treatment to reinvest into the next growth train, the electrification and the renewables, and that is from the short-term perspective what we're aiming to do, and that is also how we guide the market going forward. I think it's one more. Summarize it. You heard me already said it. I mean, we are, and it is important for us to be this independent global provider. We do mission-critical solutions. It is customer unique products, and we do it for free markets with different segments within the markets, and we are supporting the green transition that is going on and has been going on now for a couple of times. The value proposition we are delivering, I mean, it is the experience of 50 years. We have the know-how, we have the research, we have the proven core technology platform, and we are really investing in building for the future. There's no doubt that the green thinking and to lower the emissions going to happen. So I mean, it is good to be supportive and to be part of that journey and providing with what we know best, which is electrochemical solutions for that. We are continuing to invest. We are continuing to offer a very attractive business model for our customers. There's basically one-stop shop for the components, for the research, for design, for adapting our components, our products to the customer's processes instead of vice versa. And when we're looking into how we have performed over the last periods, I mean, it is a growing business. It is a growing platform of profitability. And we see that the foundation we have built is for strong growth with high profitability going forward. And we do it through automation, and we do it for robotization. And we have several different ways of producing today, and we're also looking into new ways of automating some of our processes and some of our functions going forward. Let's take the last, but not the least. If there's something you are supposed to remember after this call is that we have more than 50 years of experience, and we have only getting started. There's no doubt that we have the future in front of us, and it's not in the back. And we are definitely an enabler of the global green transition, and we are really working hard every day to deliver good quality products that lower energy consumption, that you can recycle. We have very efficient manufacturing of products, and we can redo it over and over and over, and we can reuse a lot of the materials that we have put into place in the beginning. We can do it in the aftermarket, in the service part, and not always replace with new materials. That was it.
Perfect. Thank you, Peter. So the first question is something that you touched upon during the quarterly report. For those who might not have listened in then, but what you highlighted was that you felt that the challenges related to COVID and a bit of hesitancy among customers seems to have at least become less of a headwind. We're now in the end of May. Do you still believe that the kind of factors that have held back demand are now, gradually easing, and that we could expect to see increased activity related to ballast water, for example?
I mean, I would like to choose to answer the questions like this, because we started already, actually before COVID, that we really need to be good at controlling things that we can control. And outside things that are more difficult to control, we need to find ways of getting them closer to us so we can actually control them. So we changed a lot of our processes and way of acting just before actually COVID happened, and we didn't do it because we knew anything about COVID or war or anything like that, but it was a little bit of a self-help to be less independent and to be trying to smooth out some of these delays that happens once in a while. They've happened more often over the last years than in the past. To have more than one supplier for critical materials, to have more than one way of transportation, and so on and so forth. And that has helped us during this period of time. And in particular, it has helped us this year so far. And we kind of left the lean thinking and we went in the other way around and said that we have our order book, we have our backlog, we know what we are trying to win in the future. Let's try to find the common denominator and make sure that we are buying every type of material or need of transport ahead of the game. So we have really stocked up and we have kind of bought most of the transportation that we needed and that we are needing going forward. So from that perspective, it's not that we are foreseeing a major change or a major way for us to not be able to deliver to the customers in the periods that we can look into. And for us, it is basically this year. What's happening after that? I mean, I don't have any other crystal ball than anyone else. It is always a challenge, and it's always hard work that kind of needs to pay off sooner or later. And I think we made smart decisions a couple of years ago that helps us in this situation. But it is a challenging period around both transportation and material supply and pricing and so on and so forth. It will probably not be easier the longer way we go.
And then just the follow-up then, is it something that you're also hearing from your customers that they are in turn looking more optimistically towards, finding time to install things, wanting to order systems and things that have held back the installation pace in the ballast market?
No, we haven't seen it so far. I mean, it has gone in the other way, actually. We see increased activities. We see increased requests for quotation. So that hasn't slowed down or it hasn't kind of changed over this period of time or since it kind of changed in the end of last year. I mean, it's still a high demand. It's still a high kind of activity level in all the markets, and in particular in the electrification and renewables. It doesn't seem to go slower. It actually seems to go a little bit faster maybe than we thought 6 months ago.
So with that, I think just the final question is that we are hearing a bit more news lately on the EU wanting to ramp up the investment plans in hydrogen. If you could just please remind us which kind of areas you are focusing on when it comes to a green hydrogen value chain, and which type of customers and projects that we should be looking for in terms of hearing what you may have coming up next.
I mean, our place in the value chain is to be a supplier to the OEMs and to the system integrators. So we're not building any factories. We're supporting those who are building the factories with water electrolysis because that is our core technology. So that is our focus area. It hasn't changed just because it's green hydrogen or anything less, because that is our business model. That is the value chain that we are providing. I mean, the latest announcements, I think, has proven that it seems to be going a little bit faster, and they want more to happen in a shorter period of time, maybe than we thought in the past. And that is, I would say, beneficial for a company like Permascand, because we have developed and have production capacity to produce catalytic coatings, electrodes, and complete electrochemical cells to hydrogen or to industry or to water treatment. And we don't need only one or the other. We're utilizing the competences for all the different fields, and we're utilizing our machinery for both, and we can switch very fast from one to another without downtime or lose flexibility or efficiency in our manufacturing. I think that is a strength that Permascand can bring to the market, because it will be a capacity issue when this kind of commercialization starts, and also if it goes faster. It's not that many players out there that can produce large-scale manufacturing today.
With that, our time is up for this time. Peter, thank you very much for joining us this day, and thank you all of you who have been listening.
Thank you very much.